Hey boys and girls, Mr. Gemini. Wanted to come to you with a couple examples, really two, on how to create and solve equations when we're looking at story problems. Now this is a challenging skill, one that I myself sometimes really have to look at and analyze carefully. And in the future, guys, if you continue to choose a profession that has mathematics involved in it, which is just about every profession, you will not just be given an equation, you'll actually have to take a story problem or take a problem that you have in the workplace and create an equation for it to help you develop a solution to something that may be troubling wherever you're at. So if we take a look at this first problem here, we have to repair auto body damage. Let's see if I can start all over again. To repair auto body damage on a car, auto body charges $125 plus $18 per hour. Car care charges $200 plus $12 per hour. Determine the number of hours for which the two body shops will cost the same. Okay, after first reading that, I'm confuzzled. Let's take a look at it and see if we can't break it down to some easier components here. To repair body damage on a car, auto body, we have one place, auto body. Now, auto body is going to charge us $125. Right off the bat, as soon as we bring our car in there, if we agree, sign a contract to let them do work on it, they're going to charge us $125 without even really touching the car. Plus, they're going to charge us $18 per hour. I'm thinking times here. $18 if they do 1 hour work, 2 hours of work, 18 times 2 is 36. Now we have their competition. Competition in the auto body industry here is car care. Now we could take our body to car care and they're going to charge us $200 once we sign the contract. It says yes, go ahead, without ever touching the car, but they're going to charge us only $12 per hour. Determine the number of hours for which the two body shops will cost the same. We're trying to figure out the number of hours that I have to have my car in the places in order the cost to be the same. Because right now, looking at it, it's definitely not the same. We have $200 up front for car care, $125 up front for here. But then we have the 18 and the 12. So we're looking for at what hour marker, period, are we going to have the same identical price. What I need to do that is make, hey, auto body has to be equal to car care. I'm going to put auto body on this side of the equation, car care on this side. Now I see with auto body, it's $125 up front, plus an additional $18 per hour. I'm going to call hours H. Or we go to car care down the street there, it's $200 just to walk in, plus an additional $12 per hour. Well, I have my equation. Now let's go about solving it. I see I have integers, and then I also have these coefficients, these 18 times H. This coefficient variable, I have this 12 times H. I need to get the H's on one side of the equation, the integers on the other side, and that's going to really help me solve this problem. I'm going to start with getting rid of the integers from one side. I tend not to like to deal with negatives. If I brought that 200 over here, I have to subtract it. That'll give me a negative. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to subtract the 125 from both sides. That is my first step. That is gone. I am still left with the 18 times H is equal to 200 minus 125. That gives me 10. To make this into essentially a 90, I got to take the 100 from here, so that gives me 90. I have 10 minus 5, that gives me 5. I really have 90 minus, because this is in the tens place, 90 minus 20, which gives me 75. And I still have that plus 12H. Now, next thing I want to do, I want to get the H's to one side. Well, I can't bring the 18 H's here because I won't have an equation anymore. There will be nothing left over here, no term. I'll just have an expression. Keep this an equation. I'm going to subtract 12H from both sides. Why subtract? I see we're adding it. Get rid of it, I do the opposite. Yep. And as I said add, I'm writing add over here. I'm going to subtract 12H's from both sides. Remember, combining like terms. I'm left with 6H is equal to 75. Now, the first thing I notice is that I know 6 will not go into 75 evenly. Tells me that I'm going to have to go something, it's going to be a decimal answer. And now what I do next is I'm going to divide both sides. Divide both sides by 6. I want to evaluate for 1 hour. I want to know what 1 hour is going to be. So 6, I should say 1H, not 1 hour. I'm evaluate for 1H, not 6 of them. I'm going to do this math over here. I 75 divided by 6. As I said before, I see that I know because I have some number sense, not much, that 6 will not go into 75 evenly. So I'm just going to add 2 zeros to begin. I'm now going to go, what times 6 will give me close to 7? Or how many times will 6 go into 7? That is 1 time. So that gives me 6. I subtract. That is 1. I bring down the next number, which is a 5. How many times will 6 go into 15? Or what times 6 will give me close to 15? Well, that is 2. 6 times 2 is 12. I subtract. That is 3. I bring down the next number, which is a 0. How many times will 6 go into 30? Or what times 6 gives me close to 30? Well, here I'm lucky. 6 times 5 gives me exactly 30. H is equal to 12 and a half. But wait a minute, what is this 12 and a half labeled? What does it even answer? Oh, it's going to take, once I have my car there for 12 and a half hours, that's when these two places, their prices are even with each other. They will be equal to each other. So if I leave my car here for 12 and a half hours, or I leave it here for 12 and a half hours, they will be equal. It'll cost me, the price will be the same. Now, if I go beyond 12 and a half hours, then we again have the difference in prices. Or if I go below, we have the difference in prices. If I look at one more, I have 3 times the perimeter of a triangle is the same as 75 decreased by twice the perimeter. What is the perimeter of the triangle? Here I'm not comparing. I am not comparing 2 triangles. I'm actually comparing one. But I'm taking a look. It says, hey, if I took the perimeter, it says perimeter 3 times the perimeter. So I take 3 and multiply it by the perimeter. But again, if I look at the question, what is the perimeter? Well, we don't know that. So it's going to be 3 times P. And then it says is. Oh, is means equals. The same as 75 decreased. So I start with 75 and I take away from it twice the perimeter. Twice means it times by 2, and I don't know the perimeter, so it's 2P. If I go to write my equation now, I have 3 times P, 3 times the perimeter is equal to, or as they said here, is the same as the number 75 decreased by, I'm subtracting from something from 75, decreased by twice the perimeter. All right, now let's take a look at how about solve this. This is nice because I have variable on this side with the coefficient, variable on this side with the coefficient. I only have one integer. That's not bad. So I don't have to move any integers. I just need to get rid of these 2 p's. Now it says to subtract the 2 p's. Well, to get rid of that, I do the opposite. I'm going to add 2 p's to both sides. So I would add 2 p's to both sides. Crosses out. That's gone. I now have 5 times p is equal to 75. Now I need to evaluate for 1p in order to find out the perimeter of this triangle. Now another thing about this is when I am dividing, I already know that this number, there will be no decimal. It'll terminate. It's going to terminate right after in the ones place because 5 is a factor of 75. 75 is a multiple of 5. That means I'm going to terminate. It's going to go in evenly. I'm just going to come over here and divide. I have 75 divided by 5. I'm put multiplication symbol here. How many times is 5 going to 7? Well, I know 5 times 1 gives me 5. That's as big as it's going to get. 7 minus 5 is 2. I bring down the 5. What times 5 gives me 25? Or how many times does 5 go into 25? That would give me 5. 15. Now, what does that 15 answer? P equals 15. The perimeter of that triangle is 15. They don't give me a unit of measure, so I'm just going to go 15. I'm going to call it units. All right. Hope this helps you out in preparation for both our quiz and our post-test for Chapter 11. Take care.